Well, today, thousands of runners are racing to the finish line of the New York City Marathon. You might not think you were born to run, but with a little training, you can take the first steps to running your own running routine. Personal trainer and running coach Nicole Rodriguez has tips to get you up to speed. So,
right.
Nicole, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, tell me, why did you personally start running?
Well, it was about 10 years ago, and I was about 40 pounds overweight.
That's impossible to believe.
Yeah, believe it. I have proof. And the clothes, I still keep a few of those items.
Good inspiration.
Yeah, and I did everything in the gym. Spin class, yoga, I dieted, and I just wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. So I said, let me try running outside. It's different from running on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So since you are, now I'll call you Coach Nicole, since you're Coach Nicole, right, and the marathon is today, how does one get started?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you don't just jump off of the couch and go for a run.
Right.
You know, you gotta warm up a little bit.
Right.
You gotta get the heart rate up.
Right.
And get the body just ready for activity. So start off with a little brisk walk. You can do some jumping jacks. Just get the body ready. And then go for your run. Important for you to cool down too. So after your run, you can walk a little bit. I would always, like, after a run, walk for about 15 minutes. Like, it really makes a difference, and it helps with recovery.
And what's the purpose of that? I'm just asking.
With the cool down?
With the cool down, and even, let's say I'm a beginner. I am. Let's say I want to start running next week. I want to be like you. I've gone to the gym. It's not really working, so I want to start. How do I do that, and why is it important to cool down?
It's important to cool down because you just don't stop. Like, even after, think about every exercise that you do, there's always a warm-up. You know, if you've ever been in, you warm up before you start lifting weights, you warm up, and then you stretch and you cool down afterwards. You foam roll, you do, you know.
I bet it helps prevent injuries,
and it helps prevent injuries, and it helps with recovery. Recovery is very important.
I think most people, when they hear, I mean, Rain and I were talking about this earlier in the show, but they hear 26 miles. I mean, that's so overwhelming. I mean, I can maybe run, I hate to admit this, but like 3 miles in a row. I mean, can people like me really train to run 26 miles?
Yes, you can. You can train to, but you have to start somewhere, you know. And what I tell my beginners is you can start with the run-walk. Run for a minute, walk for a minute, and then eventually.
Oh, so then I'm doing it right.
You're doing it right. You're doing it. You're doing it right. And another thing is like your form. So your upper body is just as important as the lower body. So you want to have your arms right about along your hips. So your arms look just like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think running's just about
your legs. You see this? In the park, you see a lot of that. People holding on to things and their music.
I want to talk to you about it. You're holding that, and let's say I'm a busty woman. What do I do? How do I, you know what I mean? I want the girls in so I can run. I don't want the black eye.
You know what? Well, we will talk about the sports bras and compression, but like this, you have to, include that upper body. No, you want to be nice and loose.
Nice and loose.
Your core should be your stabilizer.
And what am I running with?
You're running with.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the pattern that I'm supposed to be running?
That's what we're gonna pacing is really important, right?
Pacing is extremely important.
She's a pace coach.
Yeah. So what you want to do is start at conversation pace. So when you ladies go for your run in Central Park, Priya and Rain, you're gonna be able to have a conversation. So So
we'll pretty much be walking.
You gotta start somewhere.
Power walking, maybe.
Exactly. So
all right. So we start at conversation pace.
Conversation
and then what happens?
And our arms are like this. I'm ready.
And you are running, and then you got to do foot placement. So we did the foot placement, and the pace is conversation. You want to land on the midfoot. So the larger part of the foot touches the ground first. So we want to avoid heel strike at any cost. Because why?
Shin splints.
Shin splints, knee pain, a lot of
So when you talk mid of the foot, let's say as a dancer, would that be the ball of the foot?
The ball of the foot. Okay. And you just think about the bottom of your shoe, like this whole area. This should be the part that lands first.
What do you think are some of the biggest mistakes that beginning runners make?
Starting out too fast, and not having the right running shoes. Your shoes should be running specific.
So how do you find those?
Yeah.
the right running shoe.
So you have to know what's going on with your body.
Right.
What do your feet do? What do they look like? A good way to figure that out is to look at if your ankles roll in, that means that you're pronator, so you may want to get something that's going to correct that. And that's what running shoes are all about. And if you roll out or in, there are shoes to correct all those things because you want to be in alignment.
Do you go to a special store for that?
You
or,
can.
Are there actual running stores?
Yeah, when you're new,
Right.
you should definitely go to like a running specific store.
Okay.
Like Super Runners is a good one.
What's your favorite part about running? I mean, some people think it's boring, some people think it's really fun, or it gets their adrenaline going. I know you've done a few marathons yourself as well, but you are, obviously, I'm assuming you're not running the New York City Marathon
Not today.
You decided to be with us instead.
Exactly.
We appreciate that. But what's your favorite part about running, and especially doing a marathon?
Yeah, my favorite part is just the accomplishment. You know, you feel good, puts you in a great mood, keeps you at a good, weight.
Yes,
that was the main reason why I
that's how you
started. But then all these other benefits came along, like, mood enhancement. I was in a better mood.
Yeah, that's true. It affects your
and
whole
so
day.
I want to go back to what is the proper thing to wear as a runner. Can I run in leggings and a t-shirt and a little hoodie?
I like this outfit.
Absolutely, thank
what
you.
do I wear underneath for support all that kind of stuff?
So yes, I started running in just sweatpants and a cotton hoodie. I didn't know anything, but when I started to learn and I started to increase my distance, I made an investment in moisture wicking running clothes, and it really makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. It pushes the moisture away. It reduces like chafing and just all the sweat.
Say if someone like Rain or I decides that a year from now we want to run the New York City Marathon.
Okay.
I mean, is that realistic? How much time, if you're not a runner, do you need to train for something like that?
Yes. So I would suggest that you start training. If you're not a runner, then you're going to have to go through that run-walk process, and then work your way up.
So
Let's say about 6 months.
Really?
Oh, wow.
6 months. Well, with me as your coach.
Of course, yeah. I think when Rain and I go on our run in Central Park, you're going to have to come with us and accompany us.
I'll come with you. Absolutely.
And I mean, for people who don't have access to a coach, can you find out like marathon regiments kind of plans online? Are there other resources that you would recommend?
There are several places where you can go to download. New York Roadrunners has a program where you can just download it for a couple bucks.
I like that. I like Roadrunners. It reminds me of that Looney Tunes character. Well, thank you so much for all your
Thank
tips.
you, Priya.
Thank you.
Ray.
All right, well, we will
Be right back.
Thanks so much.